Hello, my name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music as a musician myself. Today is the return of Final Fantasy 15. It's been a while. This is Ravus Aeterna, requested by Anne and Eve. Well, it's been a while, like I said before, and I actually listened to 15 of the ones I've heard quite a bit regularly in my little Spotify playlist. I have Hellfire in there. And of course, Apocalypse Noctis. I love those songs. And of course, Yoko Shimomura. So let's just get right into it. I'm excited. It's been a while. Ravus Aeterna. I don't know what that is, or who that is, or where that is. Let's go. Whoa. This is interesting. God, it feels like so much tension climbing. Electronic beat. Whoa. That almost doesn't sound like the 15 I know, which is very little. Whoa. Sounded like I was fighting Jaws or something. So it seems like this is one of those songs that doesn't really like resolve. It just keeps climbing and climbing and then holds its tension at the top. Which makes me obviously kind of lean towards a boss fight or something. But I'm not sure when it comes to 15 because I've seen some footage of 15 and I know it's very like on the, well, not open world, I don't know what the term here is, but like, you know, you can just kind of go around and the music in those kind of games can kind of go anywhere. But just by the sound of this, it's leaning towards like a conflict. It's tension, it's rising tension, and it just stays there. It climbs for a little bit. It's basically a crescendo. It climbs and then it just stays. So, like even now, you know, the song's over and I still feel that that linger. I'm not sure if I got a specific scenery or anything, but when I think climbing music, I always think of like mountains and kind of more nature and rocks and stuff like that. But who knows? Who knows? You know, that could be ocean, that could be a cave, that could be forest. Who knows? But to me, the first thing that came to mind, I'm not even sure I feel this way still, but like just the first thing that came to mind was like a mountainous type of range. Very intense. This has a little bit of a different, like if I didn't know this was 15, like if I just had no image or anything, I wouldn't have thought that was 15. It didn't sound like what I know as 15 to sound like. I've heard a couple. I've heard Hellfire, Apocalypsis Noctis. I've heard the Battle on the Big Bridge rendition. I think I did another one too. I don't remember. Yeah, Arden. I don't remember what that sounds like right now. But basically, they all have this kind of really like Yoko in this one did a very kind of cinematic yet memorable OST. But this one to me sounded very different. It had the electronic percussion, the beats, and she's not new to that at all. But I guess I just wasn't expecting that in 15. I when I think of 15, I have a specific orchestral sound in my head, and it was there. It was just met with this electronic side, which is kind of funny because I talk about there's this game you might have seen on the channel called Project Wingman, which excuse me, it's like a dogfighting Ace Combat style game. And that game does that a lot, like this, where they'll I like to call it like a combination of like kind of modern technology and old school sounds, where we have like the orchestral, you know, that stuff, the strings and violins and all that, and then we have like this kind of modern technology of beats and stuff. So to me, it kind of sounded like that. But again, I just wasn't expecting that here, which is cool. I like that because I do like variety. And I didn't know 15... Basically what I'm saying is I didn't know 15 got down like that. That's really cool. That's really cool. It makes me now curious as to what else is out there. You know, it is Final Fantasy at the end of the day. Final Fantasy is known to kind of explore and do different stuff. Some stuff is joking music. Some stuff is like, you know, resort style music. Some stuff, you know, I've heard reggae. I've heard just about everything except country so far, I think. I've even heard Hawaiian type stuff. So, last thing I'll say about this one, which was, this is pretty interesting. But anyways, I just realized, looking at my next song that I'm doing after this, is the next song I'm doing is a Kingdom Hearts 3 song. And that's also Yoko Shimomura. So I'm listening to her twice in one day. I'm going to hear two sides of the coin, two different time periods in her life, two different games, two different entities, both Square. So that's kind of interesting, you know? Like, it has nothing to do with this one, but I just... Small world, right? The very next song is going to be the same composer. And in that song, excuse me, in that game, that sounds like its own thing. She is so impressive to me, how she can segregate her soundtracks to sound like those games. You know, I don't confuse, except for this one. This is the first time I felt like, whoa, where would that go? You know, what game would that go in? Her range is insane, and she's become one of my favorites. And apparently, before the channel, I was already a fan of her. I just didn't know it was her doing these songs, because she has done a lot of Street Fighter stuff, and I've listened to that my whole life. So I've liked Yoko Shimomura this whole time. It's just until this channel where I started looking at composers and things, and I started to put it together. I'm like, oh, that's her. So, and she's probably done way more games than I can even imagine. So it's always a treat. Ravus Aeterna. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I'm not sure. Let me know what that is, who, where. But it's always a good time when 15 makes an appearance. It's one of those games that has the community kind of like, oh, I don't like it, yeah, I do like it. But I've had zero qualms with the music. It's all been pretty swell in my opinion. So thank you, Anne and Eve. That was fun. And a big thank you to my Patreon supporters that you see here as well. Thanks to you for watching. I wanted to give a thanks to my Platinum supporters on Patreon, which get priority requests in my list. That is Kevin, Patrick, Terry, Vanadel, Callanan, Gardeline, Mushimary, Justin, Knox, and Triage101. Until next time, dudes and dudettes, my name is Jesse. This has been the Auditorium. Take it easy.